and talk about, not meet, actually share people with you that I think you really need to know and that are making lives better in our area. And one such person, Patricia Clayson, joins me now, and she is unbelievable. Patricia is, I mean, really, I say that, and I'm very honest because to give you an example, if you're just joining us, Patricia, several people I have met through the years have told me that Patricia has saved their lives. Now think about that. That is so important. And Patricia, you actually work with veterans and help them deal with trauma and post-traumatic stress syndrome and just a host of other issues. I know you're also a lecturer, a teacher, a coach, and you do a lot of things. But today we're going to talk about some of the things and your most important organization, Healing Warrior Hearts, which is such a magnificent program. For those who don't know what Healing Warrior Hearts, Patricia, is, can you talk about what you do?
Our primary program is a retreat that we offer to veterans at no cost to them because we believe they've already paid the price with their service. And we spend 2.5 days with them from Friday evening until Sunday evening. And we help them make connections with other veterans, feel safe enough to tell their story, to release and heal some of the emotions that they've been carrying from their military service. And it isn't necessarily a diagnosis of PTSD, any form of prolonged duress in the military, the many challenges of possibly having to put your life on the line or actually being in country or in combat. So there's a lot that they're carrying with them. And our goal over those 2.5 days is to give them a chance to tell their story, to feel heard and witnessed, and to receive unconditional acceptance for what they have done and the service that they have given to their country, and then to help them join a community. We call it the family of the Warrior Heart. And they become a part of our community, and we work with them on an ongoing basis. Not only do we work with them, but we play with them as well. We have fun things that we do after the retreats during the course of the year. We do Operation Grateful Giving, stuffing gift bags and taking them to the veterans at the VA hospital on Christmas. We have a day on the lake with Reed's Marine down on Lake Geneva, and a chance for them to come together and just hang out together for the day, and lots of other opportunities as well. So we give them a new family, and we encourage them to create a new mission. One of the things that happens for vets is when they're in service, they had a mission that they had to accomplish. That whatever their duties were, they each had a mission. They come home and there's no mission. Right. And so they have to find one. And we can help them do that, whether it's working with us or connecting them with other organizations so that they can find a place where they can be of service and be giving to others, because most of the time that's what drew them into the military in the first place, is wanting to be of service to others.
Yes. And, really, these are the heroes that are among us. And most importantly, you raised such an important point, Patricia: structure. They're used to be following those rules or following a regimen. And I think that's the same for all of us. When that structure leaves, there can be trauma. And that's something that's very important, especially when you've been through what some of our warriors have been through. And actually, from war, and it's not just war that you deal with all sorts of different trauma, Patricia, that veterans have gone through.
Military sexual trauma. There's also there are sadly some people who are abusive leaders, and that can be trauma for someone who's been in the service. Fortunately, that's not a majority or almost all of our leaders, but it can happen. And the LGBTQ plus community, we have a special weekend retreat just for them every summer. And they have had their own trauma in their service, either having to hide who they are or being harassed for who they are. And so it's wonderful to be able to give them an opportunity to just be loved and welcomed and honored and respected.
Yes, and I've had the honor to see a little bit of your work in action, Patricia, and seeing not only, we're talking about men and women of various ages, various backgrounds from all over, really, Wisconsin and the country, actually, who have found breakthroughs and have found meaning and purpose and love from you. I just think that what you have done and you are doing is so life affirming. It has to make you sleep well at night, Patricia.
It does, Carol. It is extremely rewarding work. There are a few nights where I don't sleep so well because I'm worried about some of our
Yeah.
folks, but you are right that it's very rewarding and satisfying to do this work. And honestly, I get some of my own healing. I have my own version of PTSD from my early life. And my dad had PTSD from his service as a medic in World War II. And so the more I work with the veterans, the more I heal, the more my heart is peaceful. And then I can give that back. So it's valuable for everybody.
It really is. And I like what you say, a peaceful heart. What can we do as citizens to maybe help your mission and help veterans and help others find that still heart that I think so much of us, the world needs right now? Is there anything that we can do to make life better in your mind, Patricia?
Well, in general, with respect to Healing Warrior Hearts, what people could do is they can make donations. They can come and volunteer and help staff our retreats, because we need people there to do everything from helping to put out meals to handling different logistics to just being of general compassion and support for the people participating in the retreats. So they can make donations, they can volunteer, they can come to community events that we're doing. We like to get the word out to people. And so we need people to staff tables to, help be at community events. So there's lots of things like that they can do with respect to our organization. But what they can also do is every time that they meet someone who's a veteran, they see someone with the hat that says veteran, or a jacket or something that has the name of a branch of service on it or something like that, is to just tell people thank you, to just really simply, sincerely say thank you, and to not ask a lot of questions about what the service that the person has done, but to be a listening ear. If somebody wants to talk, it's important to ask, do you want to talk about it? Because sometimes they'll just say no. And that's like, okay, let's talk about the weather, or let's talk about the Brewers or the Bucks or whatever,
Yeah.
But it's the being with and respect that they need to feel, because sometimes the things that people do in the military are hard to do from a moral perspective. Right. And so to be respected and appreciated is very meaningful to them, because they know they're still okay. Now, most of them are not going to say that to you up front. They're not going to want to talk about that piece of it, but it does make a really big difference. That just simple acceptance and appreciation.
I agree. And listening is so important. And I have been, when I witnessed some of the veterans that had gone through your program or were going through your program, Patricia, I was astonished at how open you were able to make them feel and how comfortable they were able to share their feelings, because that's something that many military people just, they stuff it inside and they refuse to get out of that. And it's not good for your soul, really. And you're able to bring that out.
It's about that emotional safety, and that it comes from my willingness to be emotionally vulnerable and to tell my story. And they know that I can understand, because of my dad, that I have a different level of.
Your father was in the military, and it was hard for him to talk to you. So you understood that.
Yes. And then there are other people around as well in the retreats, other veterans and civilians who care about the military because of family members or their own experience in the military. And everybody is there saying, we're here for you. We may have never met you before, but we're here, and we're going to sit with you for 2.5 days. And we're just going to be with you, and we're going to let you share whatever you want to share, or not share what you don't want to share. And no one's going to push you. So we create this emotional bubble of safety, so to speak, that makes it easier for them to start to open up. And once they have that connection and they realize how safe it truly is, the confidentiality is kept and the emotional compassion is there, then it's easier for them to just keep opening and telling their story and telling more and more of their story, and come back and staff future retreats to help other veterans, which is part of the mission.
I noticed the cycle of your former participants. They want to stay apart, and that says a lot about you, about the program. And you found it. And it's such a magnificent program. If you're just joining us, I'm talking to Patricia Clayson. She founded Healing Warrior Hearts, and she really helps veterans deal with all sorts of emotional stress and really makes their lives better, because really when their lives are bad, their families' lives are bad. And so it trickles down. So what you're doing is you're not only you're helping the veterans, but you're helping all of those who live with them and around them, their family, loved ones, their lives.
And where they work, Carol, because for a lot of them to relieve some of that stress and distress of the trauma that they've experienced or the difficulties they've had, it makes them better workers, better participants in the economy, because they're more willing to work, they have more energy to contribute, they're not distracted by the things that have happened in the past. And so the ripple effect is big, because it affects both families and companies and communities in terms of nonprofit service. I mean, so many of our veterans volunteer for other nonprofit organizations as well.
Well, I just love, I appreciate you, Patricia, and I'm so happy to talk to you. We did a story. How long ago was that? Was it about 5 years ago? Or
yes,
it's been a long. I've been here for 30 years, so it's like, okay, how long ago was that? But what I really found it life-changing for me personally, just to be able to see one person have the power you had over people in such an important and restorative way. And it was all about humanity and not about ego. It was just, to me, it's what we need. So I can't thank you enough for what you do.
Thank you. You're so welcome. It's my honor to be able to serve the veterans and the community this way. It's important to me to have my mission and to give back as well. And I do appreciate the support that you have offered in featuring us from time to time and letting people know who we are and what we do, because it makes a big difference.
Well, big difference. And you also just were part of this a wonderful series, documentary series, Veterans Journey Home,
yes.
in which a local man, Ben Singleton, told me you changed his life. And it's such a great series. So if ever you get a chance, I know it is available. Is it available online, Patricia?
Yes, you can go to warriorfilms.org. And there is a small fee to watch the movie. In less than you pay or the same you would pay as you went into a movie theater to watch. Yeah, but Warrior Films is a nonprofit organization as well. And so they put a lot of time and energy into many years into creating the 5-film documentary series. And so any support that you can give them as well would be helpful, and share the word with other people, because they'll learn so much watching those films.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. And thank you, James, our digital producer. Just put warriorfilms.org up on the screen. If you want to see these, I think they should be essential and necessary watching for every American personally. It's that powerful and that moving and that important. So, well, Patricia, you're a part of so many great things, but thank you so much for being with me on Lunch with Carol. We will be in contact for future Positively Milwaukee's, and thank you for just making Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the world a better place for everybody to live. It's essential.
You're welcome, Carol. Thank you.
Patricia. And thank you for watching Lunch with Carol.